welcome back to another tea time. So today's tea is from Pukka and it's called Revitalize, and you guys, it's very yummy. It's got cinnamon, cardamom and ginger, but it's not too strong, so I needed it because I've had a long day today and I needed a little pick-me-up. So I'm gonna sip on my tea because the tea is hot today, guys. So today I want to get into the whole topic of black girl luxury, right? Now, before we get into that though, because there's so much to say, I want to tell you guys what I'm wearing. Amazing, stunning robe, which just screams Jade, from ASOS. Now, I love that it's like a nice bluey satin fabric. It's quite long as well. And then it's got these blush pink feathers, which are detachable. You can pop the whole thing off if you don't want the feathers on all the time. I'm also wearing underneath some Nubian skin nude bodysuit and shorts. Super comfortable. If you want to talk about black girl luxury, this brand brings it all to life, you know, and really celebrates black women and all of our different hues. And then I've got on some really pretty gorgeous jewelry from Monica Vinader, you guys. So first of all, I decided I needed this ring when I saw it on the website, because it just screams beautiful simplicity, but also with a bit of bling. To be honest, everything on the Monica Vinader website screams at me. I'm also wearing my Monica Vinader bracelet, which you guys have seen before, and it's like an everyday bracelet for me. And then I'm wearing these really cute earrings, you guys. They are so cute. They're a nice circular shape and they're really cute studs. I can wear them by themselves, or what I have been doing is putting them in my second piercing and wearing like something bigger here and just sort of like layering my jewelry. So I've left the links down below, you guys, if you want to check out Monica Vinader. It's actually a brand that I have loved for many years. I even tried to get a job at the brand actually, but I was turned down. But that's fine because I'm here now working with them, so that's really nice. So it's a full circle moment. So if we're going to talk about luxury, I thought we should bring up the real definition of luxury. So according to the Oxford Dictionary, luxury is a state of great comfort or elegance, especially when involving great expense. Now, I really do like that definition because I think in today's world, a lot of people think of luxury as expensive things, opulent, blingy things, in-your-face things, money. I like to think of luxury as a bit of that, but also all of the other aspects of my life. So I think about, okay, obviously for you guys that know me, my pride and joy is my home. So for me, my home is a form of luxury. It's a place that I would like to create a luxury vibe, somewhere that I want to be in that makes me feel luxurious. And that's what I've created, right? So it's also about how you feel. It's also about the experiences you have, the things you see, the love and relationships you are involved in, the richness of it all. So I would just say, in my opinion, it's richness and freedom and flexibility and going with the flow and choices, as well as obviously having some great finances behind you to live a great, flashy, luxurious life if that's what you want. But there is obviously also a side of luxury which a lot of billionaires and millionaires live that is not blingy at all. You always hear people say the term of, like, you know, the richest people wear the quietest clothes and that they wear the less logos and stuff like that. Of course, there are those people, but it's not always the case. I think people say those things to bash people who may be younger, who may be new to money, who are sharing it on social media, and they're quite uncomfortable with that. And I want to dig into why some people might be uncomfortable with that. Before I do though, I need to point out that I am very much somebody who celebrates black women in luxury, any person in luxury, as long as they have got to that point in a rightful, positive way, if that makes sense. They're not doing anything negative or against the law or whatever. If it's done through hard work or lifestyle or inheritance, great on you. I love it, I love it, I love it, because it actually inspires me. However, there are some people out there who are so anti this black girl luxury movement. Now, it is a movement. I would call it a movement because over recent years in particular, I personally feel like throughout COVID is when I've been seeing it pop up so much more. And I don't know if that's because we have decided to take our lives more seriously, or looking at our lives in a different way and realizing life is short and actually we should go for things. There are people who are very anti it, you know, they're like, why are you flashing your money? Like, you know, question how these women get their money and stuff like that, because I guess for them it's like, how dare they, or how did they, because I can't, you know. And I think it shows up a lot of people's insecurities. There are also people who I think are very much like they can't sit with us kind of attitude. So people are generally used to luxury being associated with white people or Arabs or Asian people, you know, that kind of thing, or Russians. You know, you have those stereotypical views of who deserves luxury and where it's normalized. Of course, we know that as, you know, black people, people of color, we haven't necessarily had the most luxurious stories portrayed about us. Of course, we know that there are luxurious people that have lived throughout history, but that's not something that is portrayed. So for a lot of people, this is a new phenomenon. This is a new thing. This is how. This is where they're getting their money. You know, it's questionable, which is a problem in society. It's interesting because I would say that, in my view, a lot of the most successful people I know in my life are black women, and it has been that way for a long time. And actually I saw a stat as well recently that says that majority of, or a really high percentage of, new businesses, startup businesses created in the US were by black women. So that says a lot. There is a reason why there has been a surge in this black girl luxury phenomenon and lifestyle. Of course, a lot of people on the outside looking in who may not be in the community, who may come from money already, are thinking, hold on, this is our zone. Why are they able to wear things that we wear? Which is so bad, because you should kind of be happy that people are rising and people, despite whatever history we have had, people are growing and flourishing and creating generational wealth. I hope they are, and I'm going to get into that too. So it's a very interesting topic, and I could talk about the reasons why and the perspective of many people on the outside, but I want to kind of talk about it now in terms of the independence that money has brought a lot of black women. As I've said, many businesses are started by us, but also we are very high earners in a lot of countries, in a lot of places, and in a lot of sectors. You know, we have started to outperform, let's say, our men in the corporate world, for example. And that also makes you wonder, like, are a lot of men angry about this because it sort of means that their role isn't as important anymore? And I say that because if you look at history, we all know that women had barely any rights. Women were relying on men financially for their lifestyles, and that's why early marriages were so important, because you went from your father's house to your husband's house, who would look after you, and the man you chose would actually represent the life you would have. So if you got a rich man, you would live a rich life. These days, women are becoming the rich men. So then what do they need men for these days? I know why I would like a man in my life, because for me, it's not just about finances. But for many women, actually, it's allowed them to have a lot of options, as have I, you know. And you're not looking for men based only on their finances now and what they can provide for you, because a lot of the time, we can provide those lifestyles for ourselves. So then we expect other things from men that we may not have cared about back in the day, because those things weren't important. So it's so interesting that men are very angry seeing women rise, and also seeing black women rise. With that being said, I've said that I'm very for the black girl luxury movement. I myself have dabbled into it. Over the years, I have been building a luxury wardrobe, you know, accessories, bags, shoes. I show you shopping videos, especially on TikTok. It's a progressive statement that, you know, we are doing well and we deserve these things, and it's accessible, you know. I can pick up my phone at whatever time of the day and see someone that looks like me who is flourishing and in an amazing villa in Bali, or driving a Rolls Royce, or on a private jet. That is definitely inspiring for me. But of course, with a lot of things, too much of something can also be bad for you. Too much of social media can become bad for you. As someone that works in social media, I can put my hand up and say that it can be bad for you. And that's why you see a lot of people who work in social media taking hiatuses, taking breaks. I recently saw someone come back after a year, and I was like, wow, how did you do it? You know, because it can be addictive, but also if it's your job, how are you able to differentiate from it being your job and being social and blah blah blah. Seeing those images constantly, especially if you may not be in a place that's great in your own life, can definitely be a hard pill to swallow, because of course it's the comparison, it's the why do they and why don't I. And a lot of people, I'm sure, don't go looking at these things just wanting to be angry at black women, but obviously it highlights, it's a big mirror in front of them to say where they are in comparison. And especially if they are not black, obviously, as we know, black women are the bottom of the barrel in many people's eyes. So it's like, how have they and I haven't with my privilege? Do you know who I am? So it's very, very interesting. Sips tea. There are definitely so many positives. I do think the positives outweigh the negatives. Of course, young girls looking at it, one, can be inspired, or they can be negatively impacted because they actually think they should be where that girl is now. They don't know the history or the background or the journey that that person's had. All we get to see on social media is the finished article, the finished product. And a lot of people actually do go into depression, anxiety, all of these things, have to go to therapy because they are constantly comparing, because they are constantly feeling like failures. I've heard things like a 25-year-old feels like she's a failure in her life because she's not earning this amount. And it's like, girl, do you know how young you are? Like, you actually have so many more years to out-earn that goal amount, you know? I think the world of social media has made things so immediate gratification focus. And you guys know that I'm very much about delayed gratification. I've talked about this for 5+ years. When I bought this home, that was the one thing that I had to stick by and keep my face focused on, and not get distracted by the shoes, the bags, and what I could spend my money on. So I've experienced it, I've lived it, and I understand what it's like to have certain goals whilst all of this is going on. I just think that now, actually 5 years forward, it's actually harder because the whole trend is boom in your face. And of course, we all want to live a nice life of luxury, whatever luxury means to you. We all want the best of whatever we love, right? But it can definitely be harmful in some cases for people who are so glued to it, or, you know, so heavily influenced by what they're seeing on social media, and then look at their normality and feel like failures when they shouldn't feel like failures. So how do we kind of turn that around? I think one thing that needs to happen more, which is what I tried to do and have been trying to do, is share the journey. Share the journey so that people can follow the journey with you. Now, it's hard because some people don't want to share their personal lives, and I get it. But but what I would say is that I think some people need to do maybe disclaimers and say, look, this didn't just happen overnight. This is what I did to get there, and just break things down a bit more so that impressionable younger people are seeing that and understanding that they need to work hard, that they don't need to just go and find someone rich to do that for them and provide that for them. They can be that rich person, that rich man in their own lives. Sharing the journey is so important. And for me, I've watched huge, you know, bloggers and YouTubers over the years, and I've watched their journeys, and it makes it even more sweeter and impactful on me seeing the end result now, because I followed you when you barely had anything. So that's something that I always keep in mind. Over the years, I've shared some of the sacrifices I've had to make in order to, you know, buy my home, or, you know, when I lost my job and then had to grind and actually become and was forced to be self-employed, and I'm sharing the journey now. Like, it's not always easy. Obviously, there's another way of looking at it, which is, well, it's no one else's business. If I just choose to share my highlight reel, that should be fine. And I completely agree with that too. You guys know I'm all about balance. I'm all about making sure that your life is balanced. If you want to be rich online, or if you want to be rich in things, also be rich in substance, and also be rich in your actual life. Like, I feel like you shouldn't be posting the experience just to post the experience, but you should actually be living the experience too. Always remember to be in the moment. I think social media has caused a lot of us to just kind of want to go to certain places or experience certain things so that we can post it. I'm guilty of it. I'm not sitting on a high horse. It's become normal, you know, and I'm trying to actually shut off a bit more and actually say, okay, I will, you know, create these stories or film this video of this experience, but then a lot of the time that I'm in that place, for example, I will also not be filming so that I can actually live it, enjoy it, take it in, and it's actually a part of my life that I'm living, not just doing it to post. So there's a fine line, there's a balance that I think we all actively need to work on ourselves, of making sure that we actually feel fulfilled when we do spend all this money. I will never forget what my boyfriend said when I bought my first Louis Vuitton bag, and I remember wanting it so much, and I was like, I need to get it, I'm gonna love it, it's gonna make me so happy. And he was like, one bag is not gonna make you feel happy. After that bag, it won't be long until you want another one, and another one, and another one. And he was right, you know. He wasn't diminishing my joy, but he was making me realize that I shouldn't put my happiness or my joy or my view of success in a thing, and actually that needs to come from me, and that is a nice thing to have, but it's not the be all and end all, you know. I digress. I've actually filmed a couple of videos that are coming up after this that are about, you know, higher end products, or, you know, luxurious brands and stuff like that, or experiences, and that's because that's something that I actually love to do. But of course, you guys see me talk about property stuff, saving, money tips, reality, inspirational, motivational things, and I also love to share the journey of other people. So that's why I've had so many interviews with architects, developers, and things like that, so you guys can see the finished product, but also see and hear how that person got there. I just think it's important to make sure that that luxury that you are creating as a Black woman out there, make sure that it's something that you're creating for generations to come, because all of that hard work that you've done can just end when you go, and then what about the people after you? They now have to start all over again. And that's something that I am very, 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 very much focused on. It's what are you leaving behind so that your next, you know, generation also benefit from what you've done, and that luxury and that generational wealth continues. And then guess what? It's normal to see Black women in luxury. So guys, if you did enjoy this topic, let me know in the comments, and give me some other topics that you think I would be good to discuss and talk about. I'm all for it. I love talking, as you can tell. Let me know what you liked, your thoughts. Give it a share, give it a comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, you guys, and follow me on TikTok, you guys, if you do want to see some of that luxury life, because I share it over there. Bye!